Why, hello everyone. And I would just like to tell all of you, welcome to the reboot or redo of my What If Deku was the reincarnation of Karma Akabane from Assassination Classroom. The gist of it will practically be the same. But there will be a few differences here and there. Some minor, some large. It really depends on you guys, how massive the changes are. But yeah. First thing this time around is I'll be using a female karma instead of a male karma. Still going to be the same upbringing though. So yeah, that's one change, but I'm not going to tell you guys anymore as you guys will have to figure the rest out by yourself. Don't worry, though, Karma's still going to look male, and I'm still going to I'm mixing my tomboy one with this one, to be honest with you guys. So yeah. Hopefully you guys will like this new one. But with that out of the way, let's begin. As we cut to, a military academy. As we can see some fresh new cadets for the Japanese Self-Defense Force. As we can see the headmaster of the academy simply watching a match go on. As we can see a clipboard in his hand, as we see, some names. But one name in particular, Karma Akabane, the daughter of Hisashi Akabane, the current headmaster of the academy. As we just see, Hisashi simply take a sip of his coffee as he watches the match down below from the, observation box. As we go to, Karma herself. As we can see her in, a old Japanese Self-Defense Force uniform. As we can see her in, a sniper position. As we can see one of her hands go to her ear where there is a communication device. As we hear her simply say, "This is Red 4. Red 1, come in." As we would hear a man's voice on the other end saying, "Red 4, this is Red 1. I take it you spotted the enemy?" With Karma nodding and saying, "Emmy has been confirmed, sir." They're walking down the main street. The closest ones to them from our squad is Red 5 and Red 3. Recommend that the squad move in to help them, sir. As we would wait a few more minutes, as the radio earpiece in Karma's ear would come back to life, as we would simply hear Red 1 say, "Negative. Red 3 and Red 5 will just have to do it on their own with your help." Me and 2 wouldn't be able to make it there in time. We're too far away. With Karma simply saying, "God fucking damn it." "Alright, sir. I'll try and keep 3 and 5 from, well, being disqualified." As you would hear from, well, Izumi's earpiece one last time from Red 1. Well, Karma's earpiece. "Good luck, Red 4. Red 1 out." As Izumi would sigh, as we would see her, well, grab something from her back, as we would see her pull out a magazine with a, well, red paintball in the magazine. As we see her, well, load it into her rifle. As we see her take aim, as she turns on her radio to, well, Red 3 and Red 5. With her simply saying, "Echo, Gamma. All blue teams heading down Main Street. You two are the closest into the crossfire. But I'm here to back you up if you need a retreat." As we would hear from the end of the radio from Gamma saying, "Thanks, Fox. But I don't think we'll be needing it." As Karma sees from one of the windows the unmistakable glint of the barrel of a light machine gun. As we can see, well, from one of the alleys from Karma's position, a person with a submachine gun made into a paintball gun. As Karma would simply take aim at the leader of Blue Team, as we simply hear her saying, "1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi," as she's counting down The leader is slowly and ever so slowly coming into her crosshairs. As once she reaches 5 Mississippi, we can see, well, her rifle kick back, along with, well, a loud poof of a paintball being fired from the barrel of her rifle. As you would hear a loud splat, along with some few Sojin curse words, as the rest of Blue Team would try and, well, get into cover, only for them to be routed by, well, 3 and 5. With the light machine gun fire from 5, wiping out most of the team, with 3 with the submachine gun taking out the rest. As you would hear from the speakers inside the, well, custom battlefield, round over, Alpha Team wins. Team Bravo report back to the debriefing room for more orders. As you would hear, well, Alpha Team's radios turn on. As you would hear, well, Hisashi's voice over Alpha Team's, well, earpieces, saying, "Good job, Alpha. Report back to your barracks. And get ready for, well, inspection of your equipment and gear." As we can hear Red 1, the leader, simply say, "Yes, Headmaster." As we would cut to Alpha Team's barracks. As we see, well, Hisashi walk in, as we can see all of Alpha at attention. As we can see, well, Hisashi not at all of it, as he would simply walk over to his daughter, Karma, and hold out his hand, with Karma handing him the rifle, as he would inspect the rifle, saying, "Good. You actually made sure you were prepared for the inspection." As he would do the same with the rest of Alpha Company. As once he finished the inspection of their gear and equipment, he would stand in the front door and, well, say something that shocks all of Alpha Team. "Congratulations, Alpha. I knew I was right to pick your team for this assignment that you'll be given." The bigwigs up high want, well, the hero and military to work more closely due to the rise in, well, villains and terrorists. Some of you will be going to pre-selective schools. Which has been personally chosen for your attitude and skills and knowledge. Sadly, this means Alpha Company by this point is currently disbanded. with a new Alpha company taking your place. Normally, your position of Alpha company would be, well, given to Bravo company, but they seem to be sorely lacking in, well, flexibility. So they will be staying with Gamma company taking, well, Alpha company's position. Now, as long as there's no questions, you'll be getting your files very soon. Along with, well, vehicles waiting for you at the outside, where you'll be heading to your new assignments. Do not disappoint me, Alpha Company. As we see, well, Hisashi say, "Do not disappoint me," right at Karma. As Karma's grip on her rifle would tighten ever so slightly. As once Hisashi leaves, we see some of Alpha Company, well, going over to, well, console Karma. As it's a well-known fact among, well, Alpha Company that Karma doesn't have a quirk. She's just very good at lying and playing stuff that's been given to her. With most of Alpha Company knowing that the headmaster / director of the academy has high expectations of Izumi, or well, of Karma. With Karma simply waving them off, saying that she'll be fine, that there's no need to worry about her. As a few moments later, a staff sergeant would come in and hand them their files. With most of them going to hero schools, as we see while Karma open hers, as she's been given UA. As we can see her, well, eyebrow twitch a little in frustration, as she knows that her father planned this. As she would simply sigh and pack everything. As we can see her putting an actual rifle in her duffel bag, along with, well, a pistol and knife. As the rifle that she put in was a Hecate 2, with the pistol being a Type 42 Black Star. With the combat knife being a combat bayonet. For a M4 assault rifle. As we can see her, well, putting in, well, her uniform, her other clothes, and just other stuff in general. As she will also be, well, a small experiment for UA to test out their new dorms. As before she leaves, we can see, well, her former teammates, Red 5 and Red 3, her two best friends, as they would tell her to, well, be careful, that they heard that UA is no joke. With Karma simply smiling, saying, "No reason to worry, guys. I'll be fine." As she would see, well, a military Humvee honking at her, as she would nod at her friends, simply, well, giving them a pat on the back, saying, "See you guys around. If we're lucky, once the military accepts us, we'll be in the same unit and squad. Alpha Company back, right?" With Red 3 and Red 5 simply, well, nodding at that, saying, "Yeah, that's right. We'll be waiting for you. Just try not to die, alright?" With Karma simply nodding her head, saying, "Both of you know that's impossible. My dad would never allow that." After all, I'm his chosen heir. As she would walk over to the Humvee, as her two friends would smile and just wave goodbye, as they would wait for their, well, rides to their new, well, posts. As she would open the Humvee to see, well, her father is her chauffeur and driver, as she would be, well, surprised, saying, "Commander, I didn't expect you to be the one driving me to, well, my new..." Before she could finish, Hisashi would just tell her, "Get in. There's a few things I would like to, well, tell you. Personally." With her just nodding and getting in, as the Humvee would begin to drive off, as you would see, well, Hisashi checking the rear view mirror, seeing the rest of, well, the formal Alpha Company go in their different directions, as you would hear Hisashi, well, begin, "Karma, there were things that were not in your document. Things that need to be told to you personally by me. The reason why you have been personally chosen for UA is due to, well, your ferociousness and your lack of mercy towards the enemy. A threat was made against, well, UA a while back. That is why you are being sent there. Overall, your records are not known to, well, the standard military, as you have already been, well, selected by the end of your year to be placed in a special unit, a Black Ops unit. And no, Your former comrades will not be there. They did not make the proper selections. You did. That which I am proud of you for. But your main mission is to, well, protect most of the students. This is what I meant by a bonding experience between heroes and military personnel. So far, our two organizations have been splitting apart, little by little. The governments are not happy about this. We are not the only combat school to, well, be selected for this operation. Operations like this are being taken all over the world, Karma. What I'm mostly telling you here is there's no room for failure. Do not bring disgrace to our name, Karma. As the rest of the drive would be in silence as they would reach, well, UA. As we see, well, Karma and Hasashi get out of the Humvee. As we can see Hasashi in the, well, standard dress uniform of the Japanese Self-Defense Force. As we can see, well, Izumi in far more casual clothes. With her duffel bag slung over her shoulder. As we can see Nezu and Aizawa waiting there for them. As school has already ended and everybody has already gone home. As Nezu would walk up to, well, Hasashi, putting his hand out. As he would say, "It's nice to meet you, Hasashi. Your superiors have told us, well, the great things you've done in your school. Turning, well, your worst group into, well, the very best." As Aizawa is not simply saying anything, just observing. Mostly Karma. As Nezu would, well, walk over to Karma and simply say, "So, you are, well, a transfer student." From what I heard, your squad has been nothing but the very best. I must say, though, it's been quite a trouble to figure out what your quirk is, though. With Karma simply looking at, well, Hasashi, with him simply saying, "Sorry, Principal Nezu, but that's classified information." with Nezu simply nodding, saying, "Well, I guess the military never changes. You and your secrets. But I guess that's fine. I'll figure out eventually." I'm not the smartest thing on the planet for nothing, after all. With Nezu saying that with a smile, as we can see Hasashi kinda, irritated at that. As he would say, "Well, now that the drop-off has been, successful, I should be on my leave and heading back to the academy. I still have future soldiers to train." With Nezu giving a courteous bow, saying, "Ah, very well then. We shouldn't keep you from, your duties then, Headmaster." With Hasashi tilting his head and his hat, giving some respect to Nezu, but very little. As Hasashi would get in the Humvee and drive away. As Aizawa would speak up, as he would simply stare at Karma, saying, "I don't like you. I don't think I ever will." You military types have never sat well with me. But I'll try and play fair. As Aizawa remembered some of the stories that Nezu told him about his experience with the military, none of them being good. As the next day would come, as this day is the combat test. As Hasashi did show up for the next day as well, as when he got back, he immediately planned a schedule for the rest of the squads and the school, to see how his pet project would do against the heroes. As we can see them in the observation room, that which was used for, the students with the bomb test from Canon. As we can see All Might there, Principal Nezu, Aizawa, and Hasashi. As we see Hasashi walk into the room not too long after I said that, as we would see All Might, kind of glower at, Hasashi, with Hasashi and All Might not really having a good past. With All Might not liking the military, due to the military having a very shoot first, ask questions later type of response to most things violent. Not capture and detain, like the heroes. With All Might simply saying, Akebane. With Akebane simply saying, Toshinori. I'm surprised that they even gave you a teaching position since you're dumb as a rock. But I guess this was the day that pigs fly after all. As the glare from All Might would become lethal at the jab of his intelligence. With Principal Nezu simply coughing, saying, well, we're actually here to, see the skill difference between Class 1A and the former, Red 4 of Alpha Company. As Hasashi would just nod at that, saying, very well. As All Might would agree with, Hasashi with a bit of hesitation. As we see, Izumi, Karma getting set up. As she has herself set up in a building, as she has trapped the building head to toe, along with the street towards the building, right down the center lane. As we can see her at the very top of the building, the roof, as she has switched her live ammunition out for, stun rounds. Rounds that act similar to, a taser. One that locks up the muscles and simulates, the dead by knocking out those that it gets hit by. As she was told to go with the non-lethal option, but not the let's play with the kids option either. As speakers would go off, as we would hear, All Might's voice coming through the PA of this little area, as the doors from the far side would open. As we can see Class 1A looking for, any giant robots this time around, due to the entry exams. As Karma doesn't pay attention, as we cut to, Class 1A. As we hear All Might's voice as the doors are opening. As we are personally going through Momo's point of view in this one. As she has a bad feeling. As we hear from the speakers, All Might simply saying, this is a combat test of survival. I might be the #1 hero, but even I need others to help me with certain villains. Normally, we would have a pro-hero or a graduating person from this school play the villain. But this will be a introduction for a transfer student. From the Kuro Combat Academy. As Momo realizes why she didn't feel right about this. As the Kuro Combat Academy has produced some of the most dangerous soldiers of Japan in the military. As we hear, well, explosion as Momo sees Bakugo fly off. With Shoto about to do the same, as the class would stop as they would hear a loud bang, along with, well, a large spark of electricity, along with the falling of a body. As Momo would see, well, Shoto on the ground, unconscious, before he could do a single thing. As Momo would realize that this is an introduction for, well, the transfer. This is to show them how weak they truly are and where they need to get to. As this is where I'm going to end this what if. Tell me if you guys think this one is better or worse than the original. I tried to change a lot of things, make it where Karma Akabane actually had friends in this one, instead of him just being a loner. I also tried to make Hisashi a little bit less of a dick in this one, but still dickish, and still wanting a lot of stuff out of Karma. I also got rid of the name Nagisa, as I personally think Nagisa would work better for a reincarnation of Nagisa, what if? But yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, though. And on that note, peace out.